Welcome to this video where we are solving MrBeast's $1,000,000 treasure hunt puzzle with 100 dogs. And I know we're not the first people to either solve this puzzle or post on YouTube about it, but we are solving it using an Excel spreadsheet that should be familiar to a lot of people. That Excel spreadsheet can be found in the description. There's a link posted to download it on Google Drive, and I'd encourage you to do that so you can follow along with what we're doing and see how we solve this. So you should probably be familiar with the problem. It is these 100 little dogs with these 5 different attributes, and then this big ugly monster of a 5-set Venn diagram on the left of the image. The image doesn't come with any instructions, but it's pretty clear we're supposed to place these dogs into these regions with the corresponding letters that will spell out a clue based on those 5 attributes and which ones they have and which ones they don't have. So we begin trying to analyze this Venn diagram and get as far away from it as possible by turning it into some unique codes in Excel. So the diagram's a lot easier to look at if we color code it. So we'll color it up into 5 regions, which are green, blue, yellow, pink, and red. And then we will go through each letter, and based on which circles or which ovals it's in, we'll turn that into a unique Excel code that I call a binary code. It's not really a binary number, but I'm representing it with 1s and 0s, so that's the way I phrased it. So for example, we'll look at region A in the top left here with this big red arrow pointing to it. That region is inside the green circle, so we put a 1. It's outside the blue circle, so we put a 0. Inside the yellow, that's a 1. Outside the pink, that's a 0. Inside the red, that's a 1. Okay? So those are the attributes of where that region is, and then we glue it together into a unique kind of representation or a unique code that we call this binary code. And that's simply done by multiplying each of these cells about 1 by 10,000, 1 by 1,000, 1 by 100, 1 by 10, and then finally the last one is just added on the end to give us this unique 5-digit representation for each region. You'll see here that some of the regions, 2-digit numbers or maybe even 3 or 4-digit numbers, those just have leading zeros. So for the C region, for example, that region is 3 zeros and then 1 1. Excel is just not showing us the 3 zeros, it's simplifying the number down. And at this point, we can get into the dogs. So we've got all the regions coded up here for all the letters. Now we'll start trying to turn the dogs into some similar codes and trying to match the dogs with the regions. So we take the first 5 dogs and we turn them into codes. So taking the first dog, we look at, does he have his ears up? The answer is no. So his first value will be a 0. Ears are not up. He is holding a bone, so that column will be a 1. He does not have spots, so that's a 0. He does have a little collar peeking out right there, so that's going to be a 1. And he is not wagging his tail, so that's a 0. So we turn each dog into a unique combination of these 5 numbers. And again, we try and glue it together in a binary code, starting with just going clockwise on that diagram, assuming the top oval was ears up and moving in a clockwise direction. A little bit of ChatGPT helps us match those binary codes back to the reference sheet with the letter values. And from coding up the first 10 dogs here, we can see we get a bunch of jargon, which tells us we are not looking at these regions in the correct orientation. So it does not go clockwise, just working through that list. A little bit of trial and error on the next few sheets, attempt 2 and attempt 3. We experiment with changing the way that we're making these binary codes for the dogs. So in the second sheet, attempt 2, we multiply the C column by 10,000, the D column by 1,000, the E column by 100, the F column by 10, and then add the B column. Okay? So we're just playing around here, trying to get some kind of word formed in this region on the right. Okay? Attempt 2 is unsuccessful. Attempt 3, similarly unsuccessful. By the time we get to attempt 4, we do start to see some words formed. So the first 4 letters spell the word just, and then we've got the word bug, and then we've got me, and then further down we've got puppies. So we're able to pull out a couple of words here which tell us we've got some regions correct, but not others. So we know we have parts that are right and parts that are wrong. So we focus on these first 4 letters being just. that's very unlikely that that's randomly made a 4-letter word. So we look at changing how we're forming this binary code for the regions that are not correct while still maintaining the regions that are correct. So a good example of that is this word just right at the top. And this, let's take a look at the U, for example, here. So the U is formed with 4 ones and 1 0, and the 0 has to be in the center location. Okay? So if we look back, the 0 came from the ears attribute. So we know that in our creation of this binary code, the ears must be multiplied by 100 in that middle spot. Okay? The other 4 ones could go in any order to form that region for the U, but we know that middle location that must come from the ears. Okay? We can do similar things if we look at, for example, what would be good here? Maybe this S. This S has 2 ones and 3 zeros, and again, they have to go in to form that number 101. So we know that the last number must be a 1, meaning that the final number that's added, not multiplied by 10, 100, 1,000, or 10,000, that has to either be spots or ears. Well, we know ears was already in the middle location, so the final location, that must come from spots. Spots must be the units in this case, not multiplied by 10, 100, 1,000, or 10,000. So process of elimination, using this word just, we're able to get to our full solve here, and we tweak how that thing is glued together, and we get this final correct orientation of the Venn diagram, which I'll show in a minute. And if you scroll down this file once you download it, you can see it perfectly creates the clue that we need to solve this riddle. So that finished Venn diagram looks like this. We have bone at the top on the green circle, wag on the right with the blue circle, yellow is the ears, purple is the collar, and then red is the spots. And that clue comes out to be just 100 exquisitely fuzzy puppies, can be viewed like an adverb, a number from a Spielberg movie or a film by Coppola. Again, this is widely found on the internet at this point. And the answer to that riddle is the word somewhere. Somewhere is both a film by Coppola. It is also a musical number from West Side Story, which the remake, I believe, was directed by Spielberg. So that completes how we solved this 100 dogs puzzle from the MrBeast treasure hunt. If you found this video interesting, please feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. That'll help support us and allow us to create more content. Thanks for watching.